All right, guys, welcome in the first episode, Beyond the Game, with Ro and the Joe Bros.
What's going on,
Guys, you
everybody?
really want to? We've got Joe M over here, and we've got Joe B as well.
What's up, yo?
We wanted to start this podcast because we wanted to basically bring our WhatsApp chat into podcast form. A lot of interesting conversations and debates. We thought it would be really engaging and you guys would really enjoy it. So let's start out by talking a little bit about ourselves, give a little background and some things so that everybody gets to know us. I'll start out. I'm Rolando Rosa. I've been in the sports industry, journalism background. I went to FAU, graduated 2013 with a degree in multimedia journalism. I've been all around. I've been at CBS Sports. I've been at Centennial. I've worked for Cox Media Group. I've covered the NFL. I've covered college football. I've covered prep sports. I've been all around. Right now I'm up in Jersey, but as you guys see, my heart is right there and it always will be. So that's a little bit about me. Let's go to Joe M. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Joe Martino. I graduated class of 2015, Florida International University, sports recreation management. I currently work in amateur boxing, management and promotion, and I also work in hospitality. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and I was raised in Virginia. I went to high school in New Jersey, moved to Hollywood, Florida in 2004. So I've basically been all around and seen a lot of things. I'm excited to get this started.
Sounds good, brother. All right, Joe B, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
So everyone, I'm Joe Begerstein. I'm a South Florida native, born and raised, born in Miami, raised in Broward. I went to University of Miami, graduated in 2013, did journalism, sport admin. I met Rolando Rosa from Sentinel, covered high school sports. Before then, I worked for Florida Panthers, Miami Dolphins, Orange Bowl Committee, various different capacities, mainly media, that role. And I worked for the Miami Heat. I was basically one of their beat writers. I was there for 8 years, or 7.5. And now I'm at a sports media betting group called Better Collective. But yeah, just covering sports, writing about sports, journalism, just like Rolando Rosa. What I love to do. We love talking about the game. We do, like you said in our WhatsApp group, and we're just trying to bring that to y'all. And that's probably could segue into this, but talking about what's going on in sports, what's going on, the topics and things like that. So that's kind of what we're gonna hit on this show.
Yeah, something I want to add is, the good thing about what we all bring is we have something each different and unique to share. We have a lot of different backgrounds. We have similarities, but
for sure,
we have different life experiences and things that we can offer and lend to the audience to kind of give them like a broad scope of the sports world, because I think there's a lot of interesting things now going on, and we can each lend our own perspective to these things. Juby, you touched on something I wanted to get into. You and I have a newspaper background. That's an industry that is in decline, but journalism is still important. How do you see the role of the internet and social media shaping the way that we consume journalism today?
I think it's important. I think one of the things is it's always important to adapt. I think that's something that both you and I did, starting at something over time, like realizing kind of where the industry was going, stuff like that. I think it's important but also take things, there's so much stuff out there. There's a lot of, noise in a way. Like everyone could be, you can see stuff and get misinformation, but I think a lot of it's just, there's still a place for it, like you said. It's about integrity too, and just covering things the right way. But yeah, I think, again, with this show, I think it's going to be, we're going to give our opinions and stuff, but we're going to come from all different, like you said, backgrounds, opinions, avenues. So I think that's going to bring a lot of diverse. Like, it's not going to be just like we're saying agreed. Like, there's going to be some debates and stuff on here. It'll be kind of cool. But yeah, I think there's obviously a place for it. Like, and I know, Joe M's a writer as well. Just because he didn't, do it for like a official.
Yeah, well, we all know the story about that. Rolando talked me out and talked out of being a writer. He talked me out of being a writer, so you're all right.
It's a hard knock life, okay? I didn't want you to go down my path. I didn't want you to follow the beaten path. And as we see, it's kind of gotten a little weird, but we're all here now, okay? It worked out.
That's true. But, I'm over it.
But I do want to pull you. No, you're definitely over it, and you're on to better things, as we see. But Joe M, I want to, same question to you. No, you're not per se, you weren't a journalist, but you do consume this stuff. And hey, we're all in our early 30s. So like, how has sports media changed from when we were growing up and now? Because when we were growing up, it was a divide. There were newspaper people, radio people, and there were like TV people. But now it's all mixed up, and everybody is considered one thing. So what do you think about the landscape right now?
Like just to touch on what Joe B said, I feel like it's definitely changed from when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like I feel like newspapers, periodicals were a big thing when I was growing up, and I even as a kid, I used to enjoy picking up the local paper and like reading local sports and stuff. You don't see that anymore. Like in this age of like social media, TikTok era, if you will. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants like instant. I guess like instant gratification type of thing, where like just hop on Twitter and you can get your news like right away, like right in front of you. You don't have to wait for a paper. You know what I mean? Like I feel like sports media has definitely gotten to that place, but I feel like there's still a place for like I don't think it's a dying breed by any means. Like I feel like there's still a place for like the traditional forms of media.
Well, I definitely agree with that, but. For sure, because there's no paperboy anymore throwing the paper in your yard to pull out, hey guys, what happened in the news yesterday? Like, that's not how it works anymore. You gotta go to Twitter.
There's no milkman either, I don't think.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, sports media.
There it is. You got it. We got a lot of fun stuff in store.
We do. We'll talk about, important things, but we'll have some fun because three of us have a good chemistry. We've known each other for a good amount of time on the basketball court. Even though Joe M doesn't recall the first time he played with Joe B, and Joe B will keep this and bring this to his grave.
Well, don't give away too much information. We're going to save the story.
No. You should save the story.
Well, you guys want to bring it up now? Go ahead. You guys want to?
I mean, we could. It's good content. So I'll let you tell it, Joe B.
Go down memory lane. Joe B, tell the people about the first ever meeting between the Joe Bros.
It's the first ever meeting that maybe I just imagine it. Maybe it didn't really happen because no one remembers it. But I just remember. So for people that don't know, Joe M is he's very spirited on the court. He's a rabid.
Do I look spirited?
Yes, he's a rabid defender.
He's a spicy meatball.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit.
Yeah. So
I run hot.
Yeah. This is a while back. But anyways, he's guarding me, and I'm a shooter. And I'll never forget. There's this one play where I think we're in transition, so like he wasn't actually on me from the start of the play, so he was trying to catch up. So he's like, I'm catching the ball to shoot. He goes, as he's running towards me. I shoot it. I make it. As I'm jogging, as I'm backpedaling, I go, And I remember reaching out to Rolly. I'm like, yo, I hate this guy. Like, I hate this guy, man. He is just such a, So, and then lo and behold, maybe like a week later, we go out to South Beach, actually. And we start singing NSYNC and Backstreet Boys as we're walking down, just walking to
Walking
Mango's.
down the strip.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
when. Wait, was I there for that? Was I there for that?
Yeah, we went to Mango's.
Yeah, we were singing NSYNC. We were singing Britney. We were singing we were singing all the tunes. We were good.
Yep.
Okay.
And then a friendship started.
Yeah, I have no recollection of this thing on the basketball court, by the way.
But you remember the the mango stain.
I do remember that, but I'm talking about on the basketball court where like you supposedly hated me. I don't remember any of that. So I don't know why, but I just put that.
I mean, I still hate you on the court every now and then.
Yeah.
Don't even. I know you hate me too when I'm playing
because,
terrible defense.
That's because it's one-sided. That's why you hate me.
Okay.
Okay, let the trash talking begin. We'll have segments to kind of validate which Joe is right. So that's a little teaser for you. But I think what was going on there is funny because I think that first encounter, you guys are kind of looking in the mirror somewhat. One's a little more up-tempo, one's a little more runs hot, runs cold, but like you kind of have the same spirit. So it's kind of like you're butting heads somewhat. And but those similarities fostered a good friendship. And I mean, here we are 7, 8 years later, I think.
Yep.
So it proved to be a real thing. Like it wasn't a flash in the pan. Like you guys have good chemistry, and we all have good chemistry. And when we all play, the chemistry is great. And you know, like that's just something that I think we want to bring into this podcast. We want to. I'm the point man here. I'm going to share the ball with you guys. Help you guys get out whatever you got on your chest. And I think it will be good, and it will be something that people will really, you know, enjoy.
Yep.
So I want to ask you guys a question. We're talking about basketball. Each of you, who do you think is an NBA player that you think has your skill set, and why? And Joe M, if you don't say Pat Beverly, I'm going to punch you in the face. So Joe M, go first.
Hey now. I'm Pat Bev with a shot. Okay, I got a shot now. Okay, so you know, Pat Bev isn't the greatest shooter. I'm gonna say like other than like Pat Bev, like you know, like class. I'm gonna go with like classic. I mean, I would say like Ron Artest, man. Meta, like you know, I always like resembled his play style. You know, what I mean, he was a better shooter, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Than like Pat Bev. Like, you know, I would probably. Are we talking about current or historic?
It could be
players?
Anybody. Historic. Okay. Anybody that you had in mind.
Yeah, I would say like a Ron Artest type, like definitely defensive minded, just a warrior, just tough on the court, like like hustle to the max type of thing. And I got a shot, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. New York guy. I think he went to. Did he go to?
That too. I believe it was Queens, right? Yeah.
He's from Queens. Didn't he go to?
Yeah.
Didn't he play at St. John's?
He did. Yes, he did.
Cause I think he played under Mike Jarvis. But okay, Joe B, who you play like? Tell the people. Which shooter are you gonna compare yourself to? How about Rodney Magruder? He's not a shooter, but a little scrappy guy. No.
I actually. No, he's a no, because my defense is not good.
You work hard, defense. You work hard. You made try.
I try. I'm very realistic with myself. I'm gonna go Steve Novak.
Steve Novak. Blast from the past. Okay. Marquette.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Steve Novak just because, like, you know, I can get. Yeah, I'm trying. Do you know any? I'm trying to think because
Eddie House.
Like, I want to say. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm an idiot. That's right. Because, I mean, the first thing, I'm thinking like J.R. Smith, Jordan Clarkson types, where it's like, you know, just like high volume and get streaky or aim streaky. Yeah. But the problem thing is they're just way more athletic. Like they can do other stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I don't want to say that, because I'm, you know, limited athletically. So that's why I was like, okay, you know, someone that can shoot, but, you know, Eddie House is good. Eddie House is athletic though. But
Eddie House came to my, yeah, Eddie House came to my mind because he's streaky and he's kind of fiery. Like, he kind of had a fiery personality about him.
Yeah.
He had like a swag to him.
Yeah, the only time it comes out in me, again, you guys know this, is on the court. So yeah. Eddie House is good.
Okay, so for me, Eddie Casa. So for me, I would probably say heavily influenced by Alonzo Mourning. That's where my hook shot came from, actually. That's really where I started doing hook shots from. Growing up, Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway were my favorite players. So the hook shot came from Alonzo Mourning. I think the way I interact on the court, probably Tim Duncan, because I don't really let things get to me. I kind of just play my game, and I like to use the backboard a lot. Yep. So probably a combination of Zoe and Tim Duncan for me. So
Hey, throw in some Vlade Divac too.
Vlade Divac. Yep. People at my church call me Vlade Divac. I mean, is that because of the way I look or played? Maybe it's a little of both. Vlade Divac was a great player. Both.
Whatever you do, a little bit. Whatever you do, do not grab the rebound. Don't tip it out to Robert Horry at the top.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
don't do it.
So we touched on that.
It's one of my all-time favorite plays, by the way.
Yeah. So Joe B, guys, is from South Florida, Miami, born and raised, but he did begin his basketball infancy as a Lakers fan.
Well, Kobe fan. Always Heat fan, Kobe fan, which obviously led me to follow the Lakers. Kobe fan, Heat fan. Yeah, but I mean, you could say both. Because by association, Lakers too.
There it is.
Yeah, so like any special memories growing up
that game.
as a kid?
That game I always remember. Yeah, because I always go to my neighbor's house, NBA on NBC. Back in late 90s, early 2000s, like NBA on NBC. Yeah, dude. Real quick, let me ask you, dude. I play rec league as later in life, as like a 15, 16, 17 year old, and I would listen to that theme to get me hyped up for the games. I also would watch that play. The game was, I think it was game 5 of the Western. I want to say it's the Western Conference Finals. But yeah, the play like Vlade Divac, Kobe missed, Shaq missed the putback, Vlade knocks it out, like trying to clear it out, and then Robert Horry a big shot Bob for the win. And Lakers obviously go on to win the series and win the title. But I used to always watch that play and listen to the theme and just get me hyped up for my rec league games. But yeah, that's the one. But anyways, what I was trying to get at is I'd always go to my neighbor's house. We'd have pool parties and always watch whatever the Sunday showcase game was. I was always like at 1 or 2 p.m. On the East, or 4 o'clock because the Lakers were on at 1 over there. So yeah, those are good memories. And then obviously D Wade came through in 03, and it got me really, really hyped. Like I always watched the Heat, but Wade really kind of just took it to a whole nother level. And the rest is kind of history with that.
Yeah, Joe M. Any standout moments for you growing up in sports? Any particular standout things that you just remember to this day fondly, or not fondly? You can go both ways.
As everybody here knows, I'll let the audience know because I'm sure it'll come up at some point. Because I've lived different places, I do have multiple teams that I am a fan of.
So you're gonna buy that jacket with every single logo of every team and every league.
Exactly. That joke's been done before.
I just saw on Twitter it was like a picture of like all the Western Conference logos on like a jacket, and I thought it'd be not just because of the joke, not even because I care like that.
Well, it's because your phone tracks you. Your phone tracks you and it listens to all your conversations. It reads all your conversations. And that's exactly why that came up on your Twitter feed. Anyways, come on.
That's exactly what it is. But like NBA wise, I was born a Knicks fan. When I lived in New Jersey, I mean, my favorite player was Jason Kidd. So like when Jason Kidd arrived on the New Jersey Nets, I gravitated towards the Nets during those years. And plus the Knicks really had some bad years, I will say, especially like later on, like with the Isaiah Thomas era and all that kind of stuff. And
you boycotted them for a little bit.
My who?
You boycotted the Knicks for a little bit. You were boycotting Isaiah Thomas, I think.
Yeah, I kind of had a boycott going, and but like I think out of all sports, like if I had to choose who my favorite team is, it would probably be the Giants in the NFL. Like I probably. Yeah, I mean, beating the Patriots, beating the then undefeated Patriots, 18-0 Patriots at the time in that Super Bowl. That's probably my greatest sports memory, like in my life. Like I didn't expect that,
Take me through. Where were you when you were watching that game? Who were you watching it with? What was your reaction to was it the helmet catch one? To the helmet catch? Like, just take me into like your world in that moment.
Tyree.
Yeah. Well, Tyree. Well, hey, like on the basketball court, just think of me on the basketball court, like when Joe hits a shot and I go crazy. Think of that times 10. That was me with the Tyree helmet catch. Okay. Like I was bouncing off the walls. I was watching with I think it was back in the day, like the Broward College boys or whatever. It was Saul, it was my friend Saul, it was his brother Joey, it was Josh. It may have been a couple others, and it was at my mom's house. And we were watching on there, and everybody was rooting for the Giants because nobody was a Giants fan, but they were all Dolphins fans, obviously, like we are. And Dolphins are my secondary team. And everybody's rooting for rooting for the Giants in that game, and everybody's going crazy when the catch happened. Everybody's going crazy, and then that touchdown pass to Plaxico to seal it, to win the game. Brady had one more chance at the end, and he couldn't do it. But like a lot of people want to say that like Eli like got lucky and like the defense carried him and that catch was lucky and stuff like that. But I feel like Eli went on like such a run during those playoffs, like all on the road. They called them the Road Warriors. Like everything was on the road. He went into Lambeau and beat Favre. He went into can anybody remind me? Well, I think the first round was the Bucks, right? Wasn't it the Bucks? Does anybody remember?
I don't know. For some reason, I want to say Seattle, but we could look it up.
I always forget, but yeah, regardless, I mean, they knocked off like nobody expected them to make that Super Bowl run at all, and for them to be there and knock off the undefeated at the time Patriots was just crazy, and I was just going nuts. And I remember I actually did go streaking. I'm not gonna lie. I went streaking.
You went streaking?
Hold up.
Streaking.
Time out.
Outside of your neighborhood?
We might have to cut this now.
Wait, where was it outside of the neighborhood?
Why? What's our rating, Joe B? Why do we have to cut this?
We don't have one yet.
Do we have a rating? I haven't said anything obscene.
It's a joke.
It might be X. After.
Real quick, you're right. Real quick, before you're right. It was Bucks, Cowboys, Packers, and then the Pats.
Oh, you looked it up. Okay, so
yeah, I was checking it. You're right.
Go ahead. Nice.
So you went streaking outside of your neighborhood. Like, were you running around the block, streaking around the block?
Yeah, around the block. Actually, it wasn't full.
Was anybody out there? Anybody see you?
No, I didn't see anybody out there while I was doing it. But like, I remember mentioning to Josh, bro, like I was hyped at that time. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna go streaking. I didn't go full streaking though. Like I was in my boxers or whatever.
Oh, you were like halfway streaking. You were like skinny dipping. But that's okay.
You half-assed
the things literally, but the things that we say when we're happy and enjoy it. So like, were Joey and Josh and Saul, were they watching you while you were doing it? Were they outside while you were streaking?
No,
were they?
I think Josh. I think the other boys were inside, but Josh was in the driveway, I believe. He wasn't like, he was watching from a distance. You know what I mean?
Well, we needed a witness to know that you actually did this, because you could just say that you did it, and everybody.
We'll bring Josh on at some point, and we'll have him confirm this story.
How about a segment with Josh? 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes for Joshy?
Hey, call him. See if he picks up now. Maybe we can get him. Spontaneous.
Oh yeah, I don't know. He might be tied up though, but like we definitely got to bring him on another time.
We'll bring him on.
But no, that Giant stuff reminded me. So to get to myself, I think the best sports stories are the ones that you don't expect. And even though baseball is not my favorite sport, those two Marlins teams that won the World Series are by far the most random teams you'll ever find. And I know they beat the Yankees in 2003, but the Yankees have an abundance of riches. Or like, it's kind of like, can you really feel too sorry? Like,
well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, sorry to interrupt, but that's what I was gonna say. Like me being a Yankees fan primarily in baseball, and the Marlins being my secondary team, I actually rooted for the Marlins in that series only because we've got a lot of championships already.
You got it all. We only had one at that point.
Yeah.
And so those were some fun teams. You know, I was back when I was more into baseball. You know, I went to a game the other day, Phillies and Marlins in Philly, which was fun. Yeah. You know, to get out to the ballpark. Baseball kind of hard to watch on TV. Now there's so many options to watch things, but it's good to go back out to the ballpark and get the vibe, especially now that we're opening back up. Yeah. So the baseball game was fun, but yeah, those Marlins teams were so random and just so fun. Like they really made me like baseball at that time because I was more into basketball and football, but like this team came along in '97, and I'm like who are these guys? You know, they had Gary Sheffield, Bobby Bonilla, who's still getting paid, which is crazy to this day.
That's nuts. I can't believe that. I really can't.
Like he's even making commercials now, like basically like trolling the whole situation. Like they have these like deals people can get to like get a phone bill for like $125 for like 25 years, which is crazy. But that Marlins team was fun in '97, beating the Cleveland Indians. Levon Hernandez, I love you, Miami. Oh my God, bro.
Oh God.
Like that was such a fun team. I remember I was like 9 years old at the time. Game 7, the one that Edgar Renteria hit the single, and Craig Counsell scored the winning run.
Yeah.
Like I fell asleep. Like I was like I had to go to school next day. I fell asleep. I woke up. Yeah. And this is how we know it's old. Like I saw the newspaper and it was like Marlins. I'm like, we did it. We freaking did it.
When you're old, I was 6 years old when they won. So like I didn't really remember it, but my dad had the VHS of like the commemorative. You know, they used to always put these are VHS. This is VHS. I would watch it. I would watch it constantly as a kid. That's when I was bored, and like that's how I kind of followed. Yeah.
Speaking of VHSs, like Joe V was talking about VHS. Besides the best of Raw WWF VHSs that I always used to watch because I was a huge, still as you can see by the shirt, still I'm a wrestling
Razor Ramon.
But yeah, Razor Ramon, Chico. That's
the
him.
bad guy.
But the bad guy. Anyway, where I was going with that is like he mentioned the VHS tapes, and I had a Sports Illustrated VHS tape that was the best of sports 1991, right? And that, of course, had the Giants winning the Super Bowl over the Buffalo Bills. I used to watch that so many times as a kid growing up, like over and over again when Scott Norwood missed that kick and the Giants won 20-19. So yeah, VHS tapes, man. I miss those days. Be Kind, Rewind, Blockbuster.
Oh my gosh, Blockbuster, yeah. There's only one left. There's only one left in Oregon. That's the only one left.
There's a really good
Netflix.
There's a good documentary on Netflix.
I saw it. That was really good. You saw it? That was a good documentary.
I'm down to go with you guys. Like we should go check it out.
Road trip beyond the game. Beyond the game
from the only Blockbuster left.
We'll do it. From the lone Blockbuster. Let's do it.
That's it.
Before I forget, sorry, really, like I'm gonna forget it. Maybe we can have this discussion on a different app.
You already forgot.
I feel like no, I didn't. No, because you brought up a baseball memory and you brought it up how it's better live. I feel like in two sports that like don't do justice on TV and are just so much more fun live is baseball and hockey. Like hockey games live are lit. Yeah. Whereas like football and basketball, you can watch that like at a sports bar at a live or in person is still good, or live or on TV is still good. But baseball and hockey, man, like live, that's the way to go. This is their experiences.
Hockey is low key like a good sport because if you think about it, it kind of combines football and basketball into one, and boxing when they used to fight a little more. Now they kind of don't let them go at it so much, but like it has like the pace of basketball with like the power play and like just how fast they get up and down the ice. But it also has like football elements because it's physical. They can bump into each other.
There's like tackles, quote unquote. So you just check somebody. Or pancake block.
And it kind of and it kind of has like the artistry of like a soccer, but it's more brutish. Like it's kind of harder to score. You got to score into the net, and you got to kind of like you got a lot of things getting in your way. So hockey is a fun sport to watch in person. On TV, can kind of get lost in the shuffle, but to go to a game, like I know you went to the Panthers game, the playoff game. I'm sure that crowd was lit because we always go to things when it's the it thing. Like nobody was going to them however many years now that they're a little hot again, we'll go see them. Hopefully that energy keeps up because I think each team deserves to get their credit, get their audience going and stuff like that.
Get their flowers.
Give them their flowers. Give the Panthers their flowers. Even though the Panthers, I think they've only
their rats.
Give them their rats. Exactly. I think they haven't won a playoff series since they went to the Stanley Cup in '96. So
I think you're right. Actually,
they're longer. They've made the playoffs since then. Because I remember I went to a playoff game in 2000 against the New Jersey Devils.
yeah, they made it 4 times.
Joe M is not a Devils fan. You're a Rangers fan. If you're
I am a Rangers fan. I am a Rangers fan. Yes, I am. Rangers and Panthers.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, no Islanders, no Devils.
Nah, none of that. None of that. Nope.
You don't have 7 other teams that you follow?
Nah, Washington Capitals. I have a little affinity for.
You got a little Ovechkin in you.
That's it.
Little Ovechkin. But yeah, no Panthers. I liked them when I was a kid. Went to the Stanley Cup. I was 8 though, so super young. Didn't know too much about this. Didn't really understand it. But it was cool. Had the little rat thing going on in the Miami arena. And what I wish they would bring back now to the telecast when you do watch on TV is back then they had like a little laser beam, but the puck would like slide across. Like you could see the laser. It was hard to track the puck. It's hard to see where the puck is going.
Yeah, it's almost like the first down line in football. Like it's like a digital thing. It's not actually on.
I know nobody here watches it, but lacrosse is the same thing. It's probably even more difficult to follow the ball in lacrosse.
Do they have a tracker?
No, they don't. They don't have a tracker. Sometimes you don't know who has it really. They're constantly cradling the ball, but it's kind of. I'm a lacrosse guy too.
Hold on, you're a lacrosse. I didn't know that.
I honestly didn't know that either.
You didn't know that? That's like
We're finding things out on the guys. You're learning.
Look at that.
At the same time.
I love lacrosse.
I mean, but think about that. How often do you get a chance to conversation to say, "Hey, I'm a lacrosse guy." So maybe that's why you never knew.
Doesn't really come up a conversation, but lacrosse is kind of a northern sport, so it kind of doesn't shock me. Yeah. I know lacrosse is big up in like Maryland, like even up here in Jersey, maybe New York as well. So
I know Syracuse. I think Syracuse is a good team.
For me it was Virginia because my childhood was in Virginia.
Right.
And, lacrosse was very big, and I had a neighbor that played lacrosse in high school, and I used to like practice with him.
That's cool.
Stuff like that. It's a cool sport.
Yeah,
you know what? Yeah. You look like a lacrosse player.
You can't say that. Why don't you tell them the story now then? Yeah. When you first met me.
I thought that you were a soccer player. Like I just thought it. You just had that Ronaldo.
Let's ask the audience. Do I look like what do I look like? What kind of athlete do I look like? That's going to be the poll question. We want to hear from the viewers by the next episode. What kind of athlete do I look like?
Joe M. What does Joe M look like?
Joe M. Who does Joe M look like?
Because we're community college together. We're in class. I think it was Mr. D's class. Was that Mr. D's class? This guy named Mr. D. He was quite the character. We were in class, and Joe B put on the shades. It's game time.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh man,
we were in.
It's getting hot in here.
It is.
Okay, y'all are enjoying that the South Florida heat.
It's hot.
You feel hot? I actually don't feel hot. Really?
No, but earlier today it was hotter.
Yeah. Okay.
So you were in class, and this guy walked up to me all sheepishly, like with his head down, like, "Hey, excuse me, do you want to?
What's changed?
Do you want to basketball?" I was like, "Basketball?" I was like, "Bro, I thought you play soccer." I'm about to say, like, I can't kick a ball like that. But it was this team, intramurals they had called the Green Team. That's where I met. That's where we first played. I think
the worst decision of your life.
I think we went to this court named Bamford, which is not too far from the college, to just play a little bit. I think Josh was there as well.
Yep.
So we played there, and then I guess I made the cut. And next thing you know, I'm on the team, and I get elected. It was
a great
captain.
Team.
It was a great team, guys. It was a great team, phenomenal. What was the record again?
Tell them the record. I didn't know you guys then, but I've heard about
the record.
Didn't I get suspended for a game? I think I did. I missed a game.
Why did you suspend him?
Wait,
it was probably a fight. I missed a game. I remember. Wait. I think it was the year before you joined, though.
I'm about to say I would have remembered that.
Yeah, because I did get kicked out. I did get kicked out of Michael Harvey's zoology lab, though. That's something.
Yep. And I was looking lost. Like, what am I going to do here? I was like, I'm going to light this place on fire because I'm not good with chemicals. But yeah,
didn't help you out.
No, she didn't help. Nobody helped. And that was the day of the FSU game. That was a game in the rain, pouring down rain.
I went to that one.
Christian Ponder was the quarterback, I believe. We were down big. We being because I'm a Kings fan. And we ended up coming back, but then FSU ended up pulling away at the end. And we were just in the drenched rain walking back to our car. Like, I remember like it was yesterday. Like, it was crazy. Yeah, man, but that team was trash. I'm sorry. Like, that team was terrible. Like, we didn't win a single game. We had fun. It was fun. It was fun. We had good camaraderie. We go to IHOP after the game.
Me and Rolly were the leading scorers. The rest of the team couldn't score, man. Yeah, we were.
I don't think I was the leading scorer. I didn't get to shoot them. I think maybe Josh was. I didn't really shoot them.
Well, no, I know I was, and I thought you were right up there with me.
I might have been like third. I really feel like you and Josh were scoring more of the points. I was getting the rebounds and stuff like that, but I wasn't really getting the
dirty
ball.
Work. Yeah.
Back then I wasn't really But yeah, that team was trash. Sorry. I did have a game where I had 11 points and 17 rebounds. I remember that. Because that was like the only game where I was like, F it, I don't care, I'm taking the ball. I had 11 points, so that was good.
I've seen you get to that point.
Yeah.
I can pick up.
But they didn't keep rebounds though. Like, I remember they
kept telling me to go up.
Go up.
Go up.
If I feel like some toughness to you and you're not asserting yourself, I'm going to tell you to go up. It's just kind of how it works. So it was tough love. It worked out though, because you hold it down now. But that team was crazy to look back at where everybody was at now.
Yeah, I remember the first time. I'm thinking about something. I remember the first time I played you in basketball. I was so mad because you were doing all these like crazy shots that now I know that you can do. I'm here. I'm like, okay, I can just dribble right by him. I can shoot. I can get my shots. I can beat him.
Oh.
And but then because once you have the ball, like you score every time because you're so a lot taller than I am. I just remember being so mad at like so for the viewers, Rolando does this shot, and it's like the one like Clint Capella had a couple nights back from behind the backboard. Like he does that routinely. And he did that like 3 times against me in a span of 4 games. And I was just, he just, Rolly does this thing where like he'll make a crazy shot and just be like it's like the MJ shrug, but it's even less. It's not even. There's no. It's just like, hey, yeah. And it was.
What are you gonna do?
I was just so mad, but then it's fine.
Yeah, you were pissed because
I was so mad that day.
You were so mad. Did we have work that day?
We did. We played earlier. We played like at 1 or 2 o'clock, and we had to go in like at 5.
We had work.
And then I had to see you again. I had to see you again.
Yeah. So I gave you work, and then we had to go to work. So it wasn't like the greatest thing. But
look at that.
What would you guys say is the most heartbreaking sports game you've ever watched? I'll start. Knicks Heat. I was 10 years old. The Heat had the number 1 seed. Knicks had the number 8 seed. This was a year after Jordan retired. East was wide open. We got Hardaway, we got Morton, we got Mashburn. We got a good squad. And the Knicks, I think Patrick Green was injured that year, so he wasn't even playing. And somehow I guess it was the 5th game, because back then it was best of 5. And we had home court in Miami. And the game comes down to the wire, like all Knicks Heat games do. And inbound pass goes to Allen Houston, takes a couple dribbles, goes into the lane, shoots up a floater. It bounces 1 time. It felt like it bounced 5 times like Kawhi, but it really only bounced 2 times. And it went in, and Allen Houston pumps his stupid fist. He starts running towards the sideline, and 10-year-old me is crying like a baby because that was the best chance we had. And it was so dejecting. And then the next year, they knocked us out again when Jamal Mashburn refused to take the shot and passed it up to Clarence Weatherspoon. Oh my goodness. And Latrell Sprewell with his stupid towel over his shoulders, looking all cocky. Like, man, that was years ago. But you know what? You still don't get over it. You win 3 championships, and it still stays with you. So for me, that was a heartbreaking one. But in terms of being there in person, the 2 hardest ones that I was there for in person, Heat versus Pistons, Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals. Wade had the injury. with the ribs in Game 5, and he missed Game 6 in Detroit. He came back for Game 7, but he wasn't the same.
Yep.
And we were even in that game to the end, like 2 minutes to go. It was pretty close, and then we just fell apart. And if you remember, that was right after, and Shaq said that Stan Van Gundy was a master of panic. And he didn't have it under control.
That's
and
it.
then we blow the team up right after that. Then we bring in all the new guys.
It was one of the biggest trades. That was one of the biggest trades in NBA history. That one.
At the time, it was. It was
yeah,
the biggest trade.
Yeah, that's right. Now it's one of the biggest.
Yeah, it's been surpassed. But it was a 5-team, 13-player blockbuster trade. We got back James Posey, Antoine Walker, Jason Williams.
Yeah, he
James
was.
Posey. I think it was Jason Williams, James Posey, and Antoine Walker.
Yeah.
Antoine Walker.
Yeah. So I think.
Anyway, but from that pain, we came back the next year. We pretty much blew the team up, and then Stan Van Gundy leaves after 20 games to spend time with his family, which we all know that was basically Shaq saying, "Get out of here. I want Riley." Riley steps in. You know, Riley gets us into the playoffs, number 2 seed. Struggle with the Bulls a little bit, beat them in 6. Nets, the next round. Nets win Game 1. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna get upset." Nope. Win the next 4. They're out of here. Sorry.
There it is.
Joe M.
See ya.
And then
see ya, Nenad Kristic.
Yeah,
I remember Shaq and Kristic.
See ya, Nenad.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Then next round, we get a rematch in Detroit. We're ready this time. Game 1. I had a Pistons fan in my house because we went to high school together. So I'm like, "Oh, you watching this game with me? You're watching this game with me." He was a nice guy though. He wasn't like crazy, but I'm like, "Let's watch this game together." Game 1 in Detroit, we take it. I'm like, "Okay, it's different this time." We're up 1-0. They split it up. We go back to Miami for Games 3 and Games 4. I was at that game where Wade had that crazy shot where he's like backwards, flipping, falling down.
Over McDice.
Yep. There's a little steering wheel thing after he scored it. And then we end up coming back up 3-1. We lose Game 5 in Detroit, but still we're up 3-2. And then guess what happens going into Game 6? Wade gets sick. I'm like, is this going to happen again? He got sick. You remember that, Joe B? He got sick.
I honestly did not remember that.
He had the flu. So I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, he was on IVs that day leading up to the game.
Okay.
I recall that too. Yeah.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
And is that the game where Shaq put him away? He had like 20 and 20 or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not 20 and 20. That was the Bulls game. But he had 28 in this game. He had 28 and like a good amount of rebounds. And this was a game that Jason Williams made like 10 shots in a row.
Oh, he started off 10 of 10. Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah. He was killing it.
He was killing it. But going into the game, I was just thinking, are we just like, we are tortured. We are a tortured franchise. Because up until this point, we had things that were just, you couldn't like make them up. Alonzo Mourning gets his kidney illness right when we put together a new squad that should have competed in the East.
Yeah.
All those years against the Knicks, we get knocked out in the elimination game. Then last year being 05, Wade messes up his rib. And now, flash forward to 06, Wade gets a stomach illness the day of Game 6. But, okay, he gives it a go. I'm like, is he going to have to do a flu game like MJ? I'm like, does he have that in him? Who knows? We'll see. He was really great at that time. I'm like, maybe he can will himself to it. But thankfully, he didn't need to do much. He was okay. He had a good amount of assists. Like, he played a good floor game. But Shaq stepped up. For all the people that say that Shaq wasn't prime Shaq in the finals, he wasn't. Because in the Maverick series after that, he kind of regressed. But for that one night, he was prime Shaq. Like, he put that team on his back. And so I don't want to hear anything bad about Shaq. I don't want to hear anything bad about Wade either, as if he got carried, because he didn't. But Shaq deserves credit. All that to say, there was a happy moral to the story. We ended up coming back from that heartbreak, beat the Pistons in the rematch. And we all know about the finals in 06. Down 0-2, Wade had probably one of the greatest finals performances ever. 34-point average. Come back in Game 3 from down 13. that game in Game 5 with all those free throws. Had like 42 points, and then the closeout game in Game 6, 36 points. And people actually don't remember. Do you guys remember Wade in this Game 6 that we closed out? He had free throws that could have iced the game, and he missed them. He missed both of them.
That's how Josh Howard had the chance to was it
Josh
to win it or tie it?
It was to tie it.
With that three, and it rimmed out, and then
that was
got
Jason
it.
Terry. That was Jason Terry.
That's right. I just keep
It was
thinking
Jason Terry.
The play with Josh Howard is the lob that D Wade knocked away in Game 3. Yeah, I get that mixed up because I was my bad.
But like, imagine if he missed those free throws and somehow we end up losing that game. Like his whole legacy,
it's all different. It's all different.
It's different.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you like a bounce can go one or two ways, and like it can really completely change everything. Because I was watching the Shaq and Penny 30 for 30 yesterday on the Magic, which is great. I recommend it, by the way.
I gotta check that out.
My first jersey was a Shaq Magic jersey from back in the day. But you guys, well, Joe M maybe remembers better than Joe B, because the finals in '95, like Joe B was pretty young. Joe M, you're around my age, so
yeah.
Magic and Rockets. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie to you, Rolly. I wasn't huge into the NBA growing up.
Okay.
I was more baseball was my first love, so I was really into baseball. I wasn't really into the NBA until probably I want to say the late '90s.
Okay.
I think honestly, like what really got me into the NBA was like Iverson and Philly and J Kidd. Like they were my favorite players besides Pat. Pat Ewing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shaq really got me into the game, because I was like, who's this freaking giant guy breaking the rim? Like he was breaking the rim every game. They made a rule that they had to have like a backup rim in the arena in case it broke, or like now like you can't even break it. It has like a breakaway thing. You can't like even pull it down. He was breaking the rim. That finals in '94 with the Rockets and the Magic. Because the point of my story is going to be what would have happened to Wade. I was watching the 30 for 30, and '94 finals was the Rockets and the Magic playing each other. The Rockets were the defending champs. They beat the Knicks the year before in 7, and so they face off, and the Magic beat the Bulls to get there. Like the Bulls of Jordan that just came back from his retirement, and I forgot. I didn't realize that in Game 1 he was still wearing 45. And then Nick Anderson on the Magic was talking trash because he like swiped the ball from Jordan to win the game.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like, number 45 ain't the same as number 23. Yeah. And then guess what Jordan does? He goes back to 23 next game.
Yeah.
Next game.
Yeah. That was in The Last Dance, right?
That's what I remember that from, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I remember that.
So whatever, that happens, and he's like, forget you guys, I'm putting back 23 on. And he played better. But the Magic end up winning that series, and then they end up playing the Pacers of Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson and them boys.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah, and they ended up knocking them out in 7. So then they get the Rockets, who were a 6 seed. They were a 6 seed that made it to the finals. They had a Cinderella run, which you really don't see in NBA that much, but they got there.
No.
So everybody's like big favorites. The Magic are like big favorites. People just assume they're going to win. It's almost like they planned the parade route, kind of like the Mavericks thing back in 06. Like they pretty much thought it was foregone. Magic are going to win. So Game 1 is in Orlando. The Magic jump out to like a big lead at halftime, maybe like 20 or something point lead, and they were feeling themselves. They came out of the locker room like trash. Kenny Smith of TNT was making threes all over the place. For you young people who don't know that he played basketball, this guy was a freaking sniper. He had like 8 threes in that game.
Wow, and back then too, a lot of them haven't.
No, they didn't shoot threes like that back then.
I know.
But both of these teams actually shot threes like that. So it was kind of like revolutionary at the time. But anyway, just to get to the point of the story, the game is down the line. Like, it's late in the fourth quarter, and all the Magic got to do is make 1 free throw, and they win. They're up by like 3. I think they're up by 3. And this guy Nick Anderson gets up to the line. He was probably their 3rd best player. So if Shaq was their best player, and then it was Penny, then it was Nick Anderson. Nick gets us to the free throw line. First free throw, boom, boom, boom. He shoots it, he misses it. Okay, cool. That kind of sucks, but you got one more. Boom, boom, boom. He shoots it. He misses that one. He misses both. But the ball gets tapped out. He gets the rebound. He gets his own rebound. So now he gets to go to the line again for 2 more. Okay, now he's kind of in his head. Everybody's like, come on, Nick. It's okay. You got it. You got it. Boom, boom, boom. Shoots the third one. He misses again. He's missed 3 free throws in a row now. And now he's kind of doing that thing where, like, he's, like, laughing it off, like, ha, ha, ha. Like, he's kind of, like, trying to, like, portray, like, I'm cool. But he's not cool, guys. He's not cool. Fourth and final free throw. Boom, boom, boom. Clank. He missed it. The Rockets get the rebound. They call timeout. They draw up a play. Kenny Smith catches the ball, goes towards the middle, and he shoots a 3. And they tie it and go to overtime.
Oh, man.
Nick Anderson is dejected. And one thing I didn't know about this situation was with the Kenny Smith 3 is that Nick was supposed to tell Penny, like, to call out, like, what was going to happen. Like, they were supposed to take a delay of game so that they could kind of, like, because back then you could do that. You could take a delay of game. You could kind of see, like, what they're doing on offense and then, like, regroup. But he didn't take the delay of game. He let the play continue. And then Penny, like, didn't know where to go, and Kenny made the 3. Then they go to overtime, and they're just, like, they got no confidence. Hakeem Olajuwon makes a tip in with, like, 0.3 to win the game, and they end up getting swept.
Yeah, I remember
the Magic gets swept.
We're hearing about it.
They get swept, and Nick Anderson is never the same. Like, in the documentary, they show you that, like, after that, he never wanted to, like, go in the paint or, like, go towards the basket because he didn't want to shoot free throws. Like, he even admitted in the documentary, he was like, yo, I was never the same ever again. And it's like, dang, bro, like, you were not Dwayne Wade, but you were still a good, solid player. And that moment basically crushed your career. So I'm not saying that Dwayne Wade would have, like, turned into, like, a shell, but, like, you never know how these things affect people.
That's true.
It's true.
Because in the WhatsApp I texted you guys yesterday, Shaq said to Wade, like, okay, like, don't be nice, you know, take over, I'm going to be the role player. And Wade responded on Twitter, like, you know, I appreciate that, you know, you believed in me even when I didn't know I could do it. So it's human nature. Like, he might have taken a little step backwards if he missed that free throw. But thankfully, you know, history's history. You know, Gary Payton gave a little tug of Jason Terry's jersey. Jason Terry missed the 3. Ball bounces up, Wade gets it in the air, throws it up. Everything's history. But it just goes to show you, like, there's a thin margin between winning and losing. Where there's heartbreak, there can usually be an avenue to glory, and there was. So that's what makes sports great, is because
thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Exactly. Joe B, what you got?
It's kind of interesting what you said, because I never thought of it this way. Well, with Shaq, I'm not trying to equate, you know, I'm not trying to compare players right now, but with Shaq to Wade, like, hey man, like, take over, it's your time. It was kind of like what D Wade did with LeBron.
Yeah.
Like it's like with Shaq, like, Wade learned that from Shaq. So in 2011, you know, it didn't work out, and that would be mine. One of my most heartbreaking is that one. I have another one though, so I can not, you know, be the exact same one as yours, but that just came to my mind. Just like the next year, he's like, LeBron, you know, it's your squad, man. Like, and look how they took off. It's kind of, I literally never thought of it that way until, right, it's like, because you kind of just put it all together, like, kind of like you know. I never thought of it that way. But yeah, so
well, you know, that's what I do. You know, I kind of tie things in. You know,
yeah.
Help you guys run
that's
the
what
point.
He does.
Put these subjects into context.
Yeah.
Joe M, what do you got?
You know.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Wait,
go ahead, Joe
sorry,
B.
Joe B, you got one more?
Yeah, it was because I don't want to the same one as yours, but mine would be Miami and Ohio State when they robbed us of our Six National Championship.
Yeah.
I don't think I put this in the intro, but I went to the U. I obviously grew up a Kings fan as well. But yeah, I mean, the pass interference or not pass interference, no. That one right there.
Yo, that Ohio State UM game.
It makes me too sad.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a shirt from Dime Life? Have you seen it with like the 5 rings
Yeah.
and then
The 6 with a flag.
and then the flag?
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Yep.
I wish I would have got that before like it sold out. But
Yeah, I mean,
that
man.
game,
There's a lot of good
that
stuff on
was
that
brutal. That was brutal because Willis McGahee
play. Blew his knee out.
shredded his knee.
It was
Dude,
that
man.
ACL, right? Yeah.
Dude, mad
Yeah.
props. He still had a really, really good NFL career.
Joanne, what's your story? What's your heartbreaking sports tale?
Then you mentioned Joe B. You mentioned Miami and Ohio State. I figure I'll just say it because you guys already said you're UM fans. I'm an FSU fan, so we got a little heated rivalry. We had a really great trip. What year was it again? Where we went to 2015.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Miami, Miami FSU. Okay, we took a trip. Rolando was living in Dothan, Alabama at the time.
Yes, sir. On the grind.
Yep, he was
Like
on the grind.
country.
He was on the ground in Dothan, Alabama. Yeah, I mean that wasn't tied into my most disappointing sports memory, but I was just mentioning I'm an FSU fan and we kind of have a heated rivalry. But anyway, on to the topic. So anyway, going back to the Giants, it would be the Giants, and I actually have three memories, but I'm not going to go into humongous detail about them. I'll just get to the main points. Like one of them has to be against the Eagles, the Deshaun Jackson walk-off punt return that killed us. Like the Eagles, I forgot what the score was, but they made a comeback, and then like final play of the game was a walk-off punt return by Deshaun Jackson. Do you guys remember that?
Yep. I actually
do.
like Deshaun Jackson. That's kind of how I remember it.
Yeah. I like Deshaun Jackson too, but that was brutal.
Yeah, of course.
That was brutal.
Just for watching a fun game.
That was devastating.
You're right.
Another one has to be that playoff game. I think it was divisional rounds. It could have been wild card or divisional. I think it was. I want to say it was it 2002? Was it? I don't know. I remember T.O. was on the 49ers. I remember that. It was Giants and 49ers. And I think the 49ers, I'm probably not accurate with my information, but they were definitely down like 20 points, like going into like late in the third quarter or something. And they made this like huge comeback on us. I think it was Jeff Garcia, T.O. And they came all the way back and beat us. And that was so devastating for me. And I guess number one would be, it wasn't even a close game, but number one would be that 2000 Super Bowl against the Ravens. After beating the Vikings in the NFC Championship 41-0. Okay. I'm on top of the world. I'm like, oh my God, Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl, whatever. And we just get dismantled. We just get dismantled by the Ravens, 34-7. The only thing we had was the kickoff return by Ron Dixon. I mean, shout out to Ron Dixon. He got the only points in that game. But man, I'll tell you, that was so disappointing. It wasn't even close. The Ravens were just so dominant. That defense, obviously led by your boys. You know what I mean? And
Ray Lewis.
Yeah. Yep. Those were definitely some lowlights of my Giants fandom. So yeah.
Yeah, Ray Lewis was from that era in the 90s when like The Rock was on the team at the same time, I think, right? The Rock was there around that time.
Yeah.
Joe B's boy.
My guy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we should get into this. Joe B's favorite wrestler of all time, The Rock.
No question, man.
For me, it's not this guy. He's up there. Razor Ramon's up there. But it's the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
Good talk, guys. Good episode 1 in the books. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Got a good feel for each of us, our personalities, and just the way that we vibe and all that. So keep it locked. We'll have a lot more great stuff for you in the future. And have a great day, guys.
Peace out, y'all.
Later.